Welcome, everybody, to the Single and Stilettos Show. I'm Suzanne Oshima, and I'm a matchmaker and dating coach at Dream Bachelor and Bachelorette, and I'm also the founder of Single and Stilettos. Today, we have on our show Robert Manni, and he's the author of The Guy's Guide to Love. And I'm so excited to have him here today because today he's telling us what you don't know about men. And I know there's a million things the ladies don't know about men, but you're going to give us some awesome tips today. So, Robert, before you do, though, I would love for you to tell our audience a little bit about you and what made you write this book.
Okay, my background's in marketing and advertising, and I wrote this book, The Guy's Guide to Love, a few years ago. And it's really it's a novel, and it's about two men in advertising competing for love, sex, power, and money. It's been called the Male Sex in the City, and it's really about, my goal was to bridge the communication chasm between men and women and get them to know each other a little bit better. And I like to say, when men and women can be at their best, everyone wins. That's really the Guys motto. You can also find me on Guys Radio, which is on iTunes, and my website, robertmanni.com.
Awesome. Well, so tell us what the ladies don't know about men.
Well, I'll try to go beyond the obvious and get a little bit into layers, peel the layers of the onion a little bit. And I think that a lot of women don't understand that guys actually want you to win. They want women to actualize their dreams. They want you to be happy. They want you to be successful. And they want to be supportive of what you're doing. Now, guys aren't great at necessarily doing this, showing this so much, because a lot of times it doesn't seem like they're listening, or they're so introspective about their own stuff and all egoed up. You know how it is with guys. But underneath all of that, when a guy really cares for you, he wants you to win. He wants you happy. He wants you to get the most out of life. And that's really what a partnership is all about, sharing the victories, sharing the good things together. So I think women need to know that guys really are on their side, and they want them to succeed, and they want them to win.
And that's both personally and professionally, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so what's your second tip?
Well, this one's pretty obvious, but, to some degree, almost every guy likes some type of sport. Now, maybe, most people in our country, everybody watches football. I mean, 30% of the merchandising sales for the NFL now is female. There's so many women in fantasy football leagues. So just about football is like, everybody watches football nowadays. So, but most guys, almost every guy, let's put it that way, is interested in some type of sport. They might play golf, they might watch hockey, they might play baseball or softball or run or work out. So there's some aspect of sports. So if you really want to get to know a guy, you can really kind of, I would advise you to kind of figure out, if he doesn't tell you on his own, kind of where they are in terms of sports. You also want to know if he's going to be sitting around on the couch watching every 162 Yankee games. That's not necessarily a good thing unless you're into it. Or if he's a casual fan, or if he likes to play versus being a spectator. So I think it's a good barometer for the type of guy that how the relationship is going to be, is to find out what he's interested in terms of sports, because it's going to become a factor, particularly in our society. It's just omnipresent in our culture. And, women are into sports the same way guys are. Well, not the same way, actually, but they're also interested in sports, but they might have their own sports. They might want to just work out or do yoga, whatever. But everybody has some type of relationship with activities like games or sports or working out.
That is true, and I just want to add to that, because sometimes what I will see in the beginning stages of a relationship, when a woman does find this out about the man, like let's just say he's really into football, and now football season just started, and every Sunday he's sitting on the couch, and she thinks, oh, well, that's not going to happen when we're in a relationship. And what I want to caution the ladies about that is, number one, don't try to change a man. If that's what he loves to do on Sundays, let him do it. Let that be his guy time. If you don't like football, that's okay. Then maybe Sundays is your girl time and you go and do your thing. But don't say, oh, we're going to change that. He's not going to watch football anymore on Sundays, because that's his pleasure. And if you take that away from him, it may last for a little bit, but there's a point where he'll become resentful.
Yeah, that's a great point. And it's the same way, where some people might want to watch the Housewives show, whatever. For guys, you're watching their reality TV is sports, because there's drama, it's unpredictable, and there's escapism to it. So it's the same type of thing. I know my wife likes, Tuesday, she's like, Housewives. I'm like, you really? And she's like, yeah. And I realized that her reasons for watching the Housewives shows are exactly my reasons for watching sports. So just be aware of it. It's going to become a factor, and know how to kind of manage it so both parties are happy.
Exactly. Okay, so what's your third tip?
Well, this is something that I'm not sure all women are aware of, but guys don't really, unless it's something extraordinary, they don't, and it's with somebody who's not their committed partner, they don't talk about sex with each other. Guys don't really have a lot of locker room talk about sex. If they do, then a lot of guys don't want to hear it. So, whereas women, when they get together, I overhear them sometimes at tables in a restaurant, whatever, they're kind of they get into the nitty gritty. And guys do not talk about the sex they're having with their girlfriend to their friends. And I don't know how that necessarily is going to help you beyond knowing that the guy is going to keep a lot of his feelings about sex with you bottled up inside. So if you want to kind of draw that out of him, you need to be the one to do that, because he's probably not telling his friends about it. And if you want to have overall good intimate communication, then that's something that you want to draw out of the guy, how he feels about the sex, and it'll elevate your pleasure levels and your emotional and physical intimacy. I think if you can really get the guy kind of yakking about sex with you, because he's not talking to other people, and you certainly don't want him talking about it with other women.
Exactly. Okay, so what's your fourth tip?
Okay, that would be that, and this often, many relationships nowadays end with a guy getting blindsided by a woman, getting dumped, and he doesn't know why. And the woman has been unhappy for an extended period of time. And the reason is guys are not good at reading signals, and they can't read your mind. So if there are issues with the relationship, you've got to be fair. It's get him out there and make sure you can get him talking about them. Now, he doesn't want to have the talk all the time, but when you're at a critical juncture where the relationship might fall apart, you better get it out there. Or if you want to just dump him, you dump him, but that's no fun for everybody. So for anybody. So I think it's important that that women are cognitive of the fact that men are not good at reading signals, and they're certainly not good at reading minds. And I think women are a lot better at figuring out where guys' heads are at. But a lot of times women will keep things inside. They have problems with the relationship, and they just keep it inside, and they get resentful. Instead of letting the guy know, I mean, everybody has a different personality, but a lot of women won't let the guy know until they're fed up, and that's it. So I think the more that you lay out there to the guy with the intention of improving the relationship is a better method than just holding things back and then cutting them loose, because then everybody loses that way.
Yes, and I agree. And I will just add to that ladies, when you do that, it's not about dumping on him and making him wrong. It's about a dialogue and communication to make, like Robert said, to make the relationship better, and not to emasculate him, because then he's the one that's going to leave if you emasculate him.
And the one follow-up point to that, when you do have the discussion, I find a lot of times with the guy will be done. This is how he feels. He tells you how most guys are like this. They tell you how they feel. They listen to your side, and they see if they can come to an agreement. If not, they still feel the way they feel unless you convince them otherwise, and that's it. A lot of times with ladies, please take this the right way, they want to keep talking about it. And a lot of times a guy's like, I don't know what else to say. I said the same thing 3 different ways. And we're just not as good as boring down deeper and deeper and deeper into the issue. So use your judgment in terms of, when you're communicating with the guy, that you don't completely freak him out, that you figure out how he feels about an issue, and then see if you can work it out. Try to get inside the guy's head and look at it from his perspective, and I think it'll serve you well.
I laughed because you're so right, is that women do that. We dissect it to every single way. And the guy looks and he goes, okay, that, and then he's done. And then it's like he wants to move on. And we as women tend to go, no, I need to talk about this more because it makes us feel better. So, as you can see, I've done this with my fiance, and he will agree with you wholeheartedly, Robert. So
I've experienced it. Like, I don't know what else to say. Like, can we, I don't want to like be rude, but can we stop now? I mean, what else? That's how I feel. And you haven't convinced me otherwise. I respect your opinion. So I don't know what the answer is to that, but just be aware that the guy can't read your mind, and he's going to express himself to a certain extent. And usually they come to a point where that's it. That's all they can give. And you can either accept that or not. But men and women think and communicate a little bit differently.
Right. I guess with the saying that don't beat a dead horse to death, it applies here, right? So, all right. So, Robert, these have been some great tips. So tell our audience how they can find you in your awesome book.
Okay. Awesome book is right here, The Guy's Guide to Love. It is a novel. It's like a male Sex and the City. You can find it on Amazon. My radio podcast, Guys Radio. Robert Manni, MANNI.com is my website. We do a weekly blog, one coming out tomorrow, so look for it. Thanks so much, ladies.
Awesome. Well, ladies, go get that book because it really is an awesome book. Thanks, everybody, for joining us on the Single and Stilettos show. Our show is available both in video format and podcast format. If you'd like to view the videos, go to singleandstilettos.com. If you'd like to get the podcast, you can download it from iTunes. If you'd like to get our free ebook on the 3 secrets guaranteed to attract any man based on scientific research, just click right here on the video or go to singleandstilettos.com.